Hello and welcome to Caragolco's Pub Quiz. This week is the Friday the 18th of May and the quiz is number 48. We are looking at penguins, triangles and people. What a mix. Alright, so diving straight onto the rules page, same as usual. The quiz is always out of 24 points. Question 10 will have 2 parts, question 19 will have 5 parts. Upvote it if you like it. Comment if you've got something to say. I try to answer all the comments, and of course if you really like it, I have a Patreon, same as I'm sure most people who make anything these days on the internet. Diving straight into the actual content then. Question 1. Which country in Africa has the largest economy by total GDP according to the World Bank? And if you don't get the first but you get the second or third, you can have half a point. Question 2. Name both of the bones in the lower leg, that is between the knee and the ankle, and you may have half a point if you only get one of them. Question 3. The Green Mile is a 1999 film adapted from a novel of the same name. For the point, name any one of the following. The miracle-working death row inmate played by Michael Clarke Duncan, the actor who plays the role of Paul Edgecombe, the lead prison guard, or the author of the novel that the film is based on. Any one of those names is worth the point. Question 4. How many calories are in a McDonald's Big Mac? Is it A, 180, B, 260, C, 340, D, 420, E, 550, or F, 630 calories? Question 5. This is the acronyms question, so same as usual, expand any one of these acronyms for the point. He touch types for better WPM. He still had an old CRT monitor around. His PC could run at 184 gigaflops. Question 6. For about 700 years, beginning in 711 AD, the majority of the Iberian Peninsula, which is modern-day Spain and Portugal, was ruled by a certain people group. For half a point each, what was the name of this people group given to them by the Europeans, and what faith did this people group have? Question 7. How many wives of Henry VIII were beheaded? And as a challenge, name any one of the beheaded women. That's not worth points, but it's a fun thing to throw out there if you know. Question 8. Below is a mashup of 4 European and Asian flags. For the point, name any 2 of the countries whose flags are represented. I should be clear, there are 4 flags in total involved in this mashup, and they are either European or Asian. Question 9. This is the anagram question. We're looking for the former clothing model turned current political figure in Caput Marvin. Question 10 is our 2-parter, and we're looking at moral fables. So for 10A, name the famous puzzle that Alexander the Great confronted. It prophesied that any who could solve the puzzle would rule all Asia. Alexander came up with a creative solution with which the puzzle is now associated. And for 10B, name the weapon known as a famous metaphor for a persistent threat of danger faced by a person, and usually that person is in a position of power. Question 11. How many people are there on a single team for a volleyball game? This is regular volleyball, not beach volleyball. How many people on one team? Question 12. This is the what year question, so all of these events happened in the same year. Which year? Marvin Gaye is fatally shot by his father a day before his 45th birthday. The Olympic Games are held in Los Angeles. The British children's TV show Thomas and Friends first airs. Ronald Reagan wins a second term as US President. A year-long strike action begins in the British coal industry. Metallica releases their second studio album, Ride the Lightning. Olivia Wilde, Fernando Torres, Mark Zuckerberg, Aubrey Plaza, Prince Harry of the United Kingdom and Katy Perry are all born. This needs an Oxford comma because currently Prince Harry is the Prince of Katy Perry as well. Question 13. Give the chemical formula for any one of the following everyday-ish substances. For example, the chemical formula for ethanol is C2H60. We're looking for the formula for table salt, silica sand, ammonia, fertilizer, or for half a point only, the chemical equation of pencil lead. Question 14. What is the name of the tallest species of penguin? Note that all of the below are real species. Which one of them is the tallest? Is it emperor, chinstrap, macaroni, royal, or erect crested? Question 15. There was only one full-scale clash of battleships in World War I. It occurred in 1916. Which country was the battle off the coast of? Was it off the coast of Ireland, Spain, Denmark, Italy, Japan, or India? Alternatively, if you happen to know, you can name the battle and that will be worth the whole point. Question 16. This is the maths question. So we have two right-angled triangles that are stacked to form a quadrilateral. Use Pythagoras Theorem to find the length of the missing edge of that quadrilateral, which has been labelled x. And we've got a full description of the image showing a lower right triangle in green, which has two short sides of 12 and 9. The hypotenuse is unknown. The upper triangle, which is in blue, has the hypotenuse of the lower as its base, at the unknown short side x, and the known hypotenuse of 17. Question 17. Located in the Cusco region of Peru, this world-famous 15th century dry stone citadel has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1983. For half a point each, name it and name the civilization that built it. Question 18. Approximately what percentage, plus or minus 5, of the population of the USA identify as African Americans according to the United States Census Bureau? Question 19 is the five-parter, and we're looking at famous people from descriptions of their deeds. The last name will be enough, so below is the description of the deeds of a person, and you have to tell me that person's name. For 19A, we have a British archaeologist, military officer, diplomat, and writer. This man came to prominence in his role fighting the Ottoman Empire. His best-known published work is 7 Pillars of Wisdom, an autobiographical account of his combat experience. 27 years after his death in a motorcycle accident, his life became the subject of a film that took his name and won 7 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Score. What person is being described? For 19B, another famous person. This person was born a slave in the USA. This woman escaped and then made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people. This was achieved using a network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. This woman served as an army spy and an armed scout during the Civil War years, and she remained an active campaigner for women's rights until she died in 1913. Her legacy is as an icon of American courage, and there is a plan to have her put on the $20 bill. For 19C, we're looking for a mathematician, philosopher, inventor, and mechanical engineer. This man constructed the first mechanical computation device known as the difference engine. In addition, he designed a number of even more sophisticated devices that were far ahead of their time. He became a Fellow of the Royal Society and later Lucasian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge. However, he declined both a knighthood and a baronetcy. For 19D, this aviation pioneer and author was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She received the formal commendation for this achievement and set many other records. She was an early supporter of equal rights for women. She disappeared along with her plane and navigator over the Pacific Ocean in 1937 during an attempt to make a circumnavigational flight of the globe. And the last of our famous people, 19E. This medieval Arabic scholar lived from around 858 to 929. He is best remembered for his contributions to mathematics and astronomy. He calculated the solar year to within 2.5 minutes of the modern measurement and innovated the trigonometric ratios sine and tangent. The tables of astronomical measurements he created were the best in the world for centuries, and this man's name appears 23 times in Copernicus's work arguing for a heliocentric universe 600 years later in 1543. It's a tough one. I mean, some of these are pretty obscure, but I thought it was fun to include a bit of an out there option. In any case, the who be playing is I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Just listen to the rhythm of your heart. There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be with it till the sun goes down, I think. I believe in a thing called love. God, I hope you don't watch these videos for my singing. But anyway, make sure you've taken a guess at everything that's gone before. And let's press on. Here come the answers. Question 1. Which country in Africa has the largest economy? It is Nigeria with $568.5 billion per year. South Africa and Egypt are second and third respectively, so if you put South Africa or Egypt you get half a point, but for the whole point you had to get Nigeria. Question 2. The two leg bones are the tibia and the fibula. Question 3. The Green Mile, the miracle-working death row inmate, that character name is John Coffey. The actor playing the role of Paul Edgecombe, there are actually two. Tom Hanks plays the young Paul Edgecombe for most of the film, or Dabs Greer plays the old Paul Edgecombe at the beginning and end. And you could also have had the author of the novel, which is Stephen King, or Stephen King. Question 4. How many calories are in a McDonald's Big Mac? They have 550 calories per Big Mac. It's quite a lot. Question 5. The acronyms were words per minute, cathode ray tube, and floating point operations per second, which, as you can see by looking at it, is not an entirely fair acronym, but it was too funny not to include, so don't be mad at me. Question 6. The Moors ruled over the Iberian Peninsula, and they were Muslim or Islamic, anything in that vein. 700 years of Muslim Spain before they were reconquered, re-Christianized, leading to the very famous Spanish Inquisition. Question 7. Henry VIII had two of his wives beheaded. Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard were the two beheaded wives. He divorced two of them, one of them died, and one of them survived, and that's all 6. Question 8. The mashup, we had Turkey with the crescent and star, Georgia providing the 2 extra crosses on the right hand side, Switzerland for the large central cross, and Kazakhstan providing that lovely little hoist side pattern. Question 9. We were looking for Ivanka Trump. You know, definitely an interesting and somewhat controversial political figure. Question 10, we were looking for the Gordian knot for 10A. Alexander famously either cut it or pulled it out from its mooring in order to undo it. And he did, of course, go on to rule all Asia, so I guess the prophecy was fine. For 10B, we were looking for the Sword of Damocles, which hangs over to represent danger. Question 11. There are 6 players in a regular game, or 6 players per team in a regular game of volleyball. Question 12. The year was 1984 when Marvin Gaye died. The Olympics were in Los Angeles. Ronald Reagan was re-elected. The year-long British coal strike began, and all of those people, including Prince Harry of the UK and Katy Perry, were born. Question 13. These chemicals were NaCl, sodium chloride, silicon dioxide, SiO2, ammonia is nitrogen and 3 hydrogens, I don't know how you'd pronounce that, and pencil lead is actually just carbon, so half a point if you just wrote the letter C. Question 14. The tallest species of penguin is the emperor penguin. I personally like this question because it teaches me that there is a chin scrap, a macaroni and an erect crested species of penguin, and that is fantastic. Question 15. The Battle of Jutland was fought off the coast of Denmark, so for the point here you could either have written Denmark or Jutland. For question 16, the maths question, you had to do a little bit of squaring up, but if you did it all correctly you found that it was actually not too bad to square root at the end to get x equals 8. Question 17, we were looking for Machu Picchu, which was built by the Inca in Central America, or Southern America really, Peru. And for question 18, 12% is African Americans in the US, so 7 to 17% is the accepted margin here. Question 19, the people we were looking for were T.E. Lawrence, better known as Lawrence of Arabia, but of course last name is sufficient, so just Lawrence would be fine. For 19b, we were looking for Harriet Tubman, or Tubman, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. In any case, you just need the last name again. For 19c, we were looking for Babbage, Charles Babbage, father of modern computing. For 19d, we were looking for Amelia Earhart. That one I do know how to pronounce, so Earhart, spelt Earhart, would be fine. 19e, Al-Battani was this Arabic scholar. He had a very long full name, but of course Al-Battani is sufficient. And for those of you who put up with my singing to find out what the Who Be Playing was this week, it was The Darkness who sang, I believe, in a thing called Love. So I hope you've enjoyed the quiz this week. As always, and as I said at the beginning, upvote it on Reddit, give me any comments you might have. I always appreciate the feedback and I like replying. And yeah, have a great week and I'll see you next week. I'm definitely going to continue doing these for at least 3 more weeks. And then it will be like properly summertime, so we'll see after that. Have a great one, guys.